Ava and Angela here with Splitter Splat Pre-K Co-op, and today we're going to talk about how to use your writing challenge spinner. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and print out your writing challenge printable. So you'll see there's a spinner here with the different writing challenges on it. You can make your own though. You don't have to use ours, of course. Just a piece of paper with a circle on it, and then write whatever challenges that you want. These are just some suggestions. You can always do other ones as well. We do things like crosswords or word searches. There's some other things that you can do as well, or you can start with just a couple and introduce a new one each week, right? That's another way to do it as well. Okay, so you're going to make your spinner. We have another video on how to make this lovely spinner. Basically, you're just going to take this guy and you're going to do what with it? The piece of paper. Put it on something hard, and then just add a little
brad and paper clip.
Brad and the paper clip, right? All right, so that's making a spinner. So once you've made the spinner, the other thing we want to talk about is this page here. So this is what we're calling the Writing Challenges cheat sheet, but really it's just a list of the challenges and the specific criteria that each challenge needs to meet in order to be done, in order to be finished. That's how Ava knows when she's done with the challenge, when she's finished it. Okay?
Yeah, it's way faster than you really think it is.
Yeah, and so it's very, very specific. So let's just say, for instance, what would you do in the morning, Ava Bear? How does this work? Can you show them a spin?
I just spin it and see what I've got.
And whatever it says, right? So for instance, what if you didn't make a list, right? Then you would come over here.
Yeah.
And you know that your list has to have at least
10 items.
Use numbers or
bullets. One item per row.
Have a
title
or a description. And all items
have at least one thing in common.
Okay? And so as long as she's done this, she's done with her list. Now this criteria is just a baseline to start with. You don't have to start with this. If you have a kid that's a little younger, maybe it's not 10 items, maybe it's just 5. Or maybe if they're pre-writing, right? Maybe they help you come up with, they think of the items and then mom and dad write them with them, right? Or what?
Or the grown-up thinks of them and then the kid writes.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways that you can do this, and you're gonna change this criteria as your kid grows and their skill set grows and their maturity grows. And so, for instance, with Ava right now, she's decided 10 items is way too easy. So now, what are you gonna do?
I'm doing 24.
24 items. She's decided that's her criteria. And then also we could add maybe a bullet point for everything has to be spelled correctly, or everything has to be in title case, right? So we get to talk about spelling and title case and all that. So make a list. Let's just say you rolled that. Now you know the criteria. Let's see an example of that. Can you show us an example of what you did the other day?
Well, there's like octopus. There's an O, but there's not actually supposed to be.
Well, wait. Tell me more. Hold on. Back up. Tell me more about this list here. So you spun lists the other day.
It all starts with O.
With O's. Okay, and now what does the green mean?
The green means it's right.
Okay, what do you mean right?
It's wrote the right way.
Okay, so we like to say that it's spelled the way that most people spell it, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to spell words, but when you spell it like
there's
most
no
other people,
wrong way, but
yeah. So if you spell it in a way that most people don't understand, then you're not going to be able to communicate what it is you're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So it helps to spell things the way a lot of other people spell them. Okay, so the green means that it's spelled, we'll call it correctly. What does the red mean?
The red means it's spelled by most people don't really spell it.
Most people don't really spell this. So when you first spelled octopus, what did you do this first time?
I did OCTL.
You mean?
Oct.
Actually, I think it was a U. It looks like a L now because you erased it.
Oh, yeah.
U-P-U-S. And she found out, oh, that's not how most people spell it.
Yeah. That's why I did a different color.
Yeah, so she
I actually kind of did it on accident anyways. But still,
Yeah.
it's just kind of crazy.
So now how did you figure out the right way to spell octopus?
By Alexa.
Yeah, so what did you say?
I asked Alexa. I would go.
You say by vertical
Oh.
horizon is a June 15th.
Alexa, stop. So let's not say it, because then she'll talk to us. But you'll ask her how to spell
Octopus.
Right, and she'll actually spell it for Ava. So Ava doesn't even need mom and dad to figure out whether or not she spelled the words right. So Ava's really taken a lot of charge, in this learning process. And for us, part of the criteria of finishing her challenge is, spelling things correctly. Now, if you have a younger learner and that's not, maturity-wise or skill-wise, that's just not appropriate to go this far and do, drafts and rewrites and all that, that's okay. You got to start somewhere, and you'll build up to that over time. So anyways, we wanted to show you an actual example, of what she's done. And then here's an example of kind of a final draft of another thing she did the other day. It was a scavenger hunt she created for herself, and she was looking for red things, right? So she started out, the list looked like this. Woo, okay? And then she rewrote it so that it was nice and clear, okay?
Yep.
So that's kind of the writing challenge spinner in a nutshell. The other kind of tips and tricks or just things to remember are make sure that this criteria is very specific and that the parent and child both come up with it together. These challenges, make sure they're very relevant to the child. When you write a letter, actually write it and actually send it, right, to a real person if you can. Or write a list to go shopping, right? We want to help them understand, why is writing important? Why is it useful? The other thing is there's a fun little component here with the randomness of the spinner. So that's really nice because then it kind of breaks up things, doesn't get monotonous. And then you want to also make sure, finally, that you're doing this on a regular basis. So for us, it's daily. It might even be twice daily soon. But you're going to want, the more they write, the easier it is to write, the more they want to write. It's a virtuous cycle. So anyway, so that's the writing challenge. Thanks for your help, Ava, explaining this. And we'll say bye.
Bye.